It has something to do with the fact that they wear blue. I'm going to get to Judith February in just a moment. Sally, I heard you talking about that. I want to squeeze in one very important guest, though, before we get there, before we get to Judith, to get her thoughts on how it's unfolded. We've been talking about those who do walk along the red carpet and the fashion, the style, which is not what we're focusing on. But if they were to do it, is it local or international? A lot of criticism for many MPs wearing international fashion, paying exorbitant fees, not supporting local talent, not supporting local designers. I wonder if that has changed this year. I just want to very quickly get the thoughts of the proudly South African Chief Marketing Officer, the CMO, if you will, Happy MaKhumalo Ngidi, joining us on the show. And first of all, you look lovely this evening, by the way, smiling, but there is a concern about local versus international fashion tonight, isn't there?
There is, and our argument, if you like, at Proudly South African is that what a spectacular place and platform that we could use as South Africans, or the MPs and the guests and the personalities that are here today, to showcase our local talent and wear local clothes on the red carpet. And for one reason and one reason only, which is important in our view, to keep those factories in the Western Cape open, or anywhere else in the country, to change the narrative, and also just to change the mindset that you can look amazing in local, like I do in my Rubicon, if I have to say so, but that we've got great designers in South Africa like Gavin Raja here, Amanda Late Sherry in Durban, David Tlale in Johannesburg, and a lot of designers that may not be high profile, and just a seamstress around the corner. But the issue is that, or the fact of the matter is that by buying local and strutting our stuff on the red carpet, we're keeping jobs and we're creating more jobs. In fact, we're pleased 3 years ago when we were the ambitious guys who asked the president to wear a local suit 3 years ago, and he stood there and he said, the suit, the shirt, the shoes I'm wearing are made local. Don't ask me about anything else underneath, but what you see.
And tonight, do we know if the president's wearing local? Do we know?
He's heeded the call since then. We are almost certain that he is wearing local today. In fact, there's quite a few other, MPs that confirmed with us today. I mean, Premier Nomusa Dube from KZN looked amazing in local. Zizi Kodwa says he doesn't wear anything but local, especially to the spectacle today. So there's many. Kosatu tells us that they buy their clothes and their uniform and all of that locally. So there's a shift, slowly but surely, where South Africans and the MPs and high-profile personalities and South Africans in general. Yeah.
I want to get your thoughts. Apart from having MPs and politicians wearing local, as they should as well, when it comes to the State of the Nation address, anything that leaves the president's lips is going to be interpreted, it's going to be spoken about, it's going to make headlines. Do you get the sense that the president talks proudly South Africa as a brand enough to make people think first and foremost South Africa and proudly South African first? Does he say enough?
He says relatively enough, but not, maybe, perhaps not. Yeah, he could say more. And I think it's a collective. It takes his voice, it takes the voice of Proudly South African, it takes the voice of your voice, the voice of your television channel, the voice of the people of South Africa to start appreciating their own. The buy local movement is a tried and tested method or phenomenon the world over. Every country has its own buy local something for the benefit of their own economy, and the shift must be so big that it must start to feel, if you don't buy local or support local, it must start to feel like you've done something wrong as a South African, because if we don't do it, who should do it for us?
And hopefully we're going to hear more from what the president has to say about proudly local being a local supplier, being a local provider, being local talent later this evening. That'll be from 7 o'clock. Happy, thank you very much for taking time and sticking around while we were waiting to come across to you. Happy MaKhumalo Ngidi, proudly South African CMO, Chief Marketing Officer, joining us here on the show. And this is exactly Judith February as I bring you back in. I don't know if you saw my very bad impression of some of the DA members trying to avoid the red carpet. Wearing black and avoiding that red carpet, do you think they got the message across that most people will pick up what they're trying to do? I did see John Steenhuisen talking to Sibamani Lagoge. We also had the Premier Alan Winde. Do you think that messaging visually is getting across?